I haven't even been paying attention. I was doing something completely different. You caught me not paying attention. Usually I'm onto this thing. But welcome tonight, everybody. First of all, Rick is banished to the corner already because he made one of the videos 18 plus and Harrison couldn't view it. So Rick's been banned to the corner. We've got a lot of Twitter and a lot of Instagram to look at tonight. So let's get started. Hello, so welcome back. Yes, so Carrie can't sleep. Hello, Kristen, how are you? We've only got a few of us here tonight so far, so that's good. So nice, nice and intimate. I got a 2-minute ad. Sorry, Joe, got to watch to the end for your revenue. Haha. Sorry you got a 2-minute ad. I tried to as I said, I hate ads, so I try and cut them out if I can. So I apologize. I really feel bad that you're having to sit through ads, guys. I really do. I really feel really bad that you're sitting through ads. But anyway, thank you. Hello, Al Bananas and Ritz. So it's interesting. There's a certain person not doing lives at the moment, but boy, is Twitter busy. Twitter and Insta. Just went off today. I sort of got the impression, sorry, I'm just doing my hair. I mean, just my hair's annoying me. I've got this distinct impression that they're like, the pressure's now starting to get to them. And I actually thought it was going to happen the last filing that we were expecting. But for some reason, this one seems to be generating a little bit more pressure. And so we're seeing some really weird behavior. Like there was I think there were 2 Duggar videos and another royal video today. Seriously. We're still on about the royal family. So today we've got lots of Piers Morgan stuff. We've got more Duggar stuff. We've got more royal stuff. So yeah, that's just I'm just getting the impression the ads all over. Oh, wow. I'm sort of getting the impression that they're just that the pressure's getting to her. And I am wondering whether there's been a phone call from Saltsy to Brownie, because I've just added a Y on the end of Brown, Saltsy to Brownie, because we've had 2 days with no Instagram lives. Do you think that Saltsy rang Brownie and said, you know, that she spoke about the court case on her Instagram live and then deleted it? Do you think that that's what may have happened? What do you reckon? Here we go. You can get ads. Oh, gee, I feel horrible about that. I actually pay for YouTube Premium, so I don't get ads at all. So, all right. So we're going to start off. Let's look at Instagram to start off with. My ad was a short one, thankfully. So this says, Piers Morgan walked off set after Alex Bereford called him out for berating Meghan for years because she cut him off. When faced with a tiny bit of criticism, Piers could not handle it. Imagine if Piers could put himself in Meghan's shoes. P.S. Alex is the sexiest news anchor alive after this roast. Hello. Is it Tamara? Tamara. So that was that one. This was our first Instagram. Carrie says, I'm positive that Salts gets copies of any and every Instagram live KJ does that pertains to anything with this case. Yes. Well, I do have copies, and I had actually time-stamped it out, and I had not sent it to him yet. But someone's obviously beaten me because I just find it really funny that there were the two lives that last two lives she deleted. She mentioned her lawyers in it, and she mentioned the legal case in them. And we've not had a live since. So this is, then we've got, yesterday there were concerns about Ginger Volo's daughter's face. Hello, Jane. How are you? I wanted to share these so you can see that there isn't physically anything on the lips or face that would cause her to hide her. Evie Jo appears to be pretty cute. She has some scratches on her cheek following birth. Could be from a rough delivery. She also could have scratched her face. Pretty normal. She's super cute. So she's done a whole video I think she did a whole video about why Ginger Duggar is not showing, or Ginger Volo is not showing the baby's face. So someone says maybe they just want to keep her out the public eye for now. This speculation is that something is wrong with her is just dumb. Way too much time on people's hands. We always said her mouth went, so all I see is face. Yeah, so these are pictures that KJ has shared that she's put together of the baby's face. She's done it. But there was they did a photo shoot the other day where the baby, they were having their photo taken and she's holding the baby up so you couldn't see the face. So now she's having to go at so she says Thomas Markle went on Good Morning Britain, admitted he goes to the press because Meghan and Harry won't talk to him. This is a man who sold a private letter of hers, sold photos, has been paid for non-stop interviews. He's a man with a history of money troubles. Can you blame Meghan and Harry for not talking to him? Then saying he will go to the press every 30 days until they talk to him. That sounds like blackmail. Someone says, is he drunk? She says, he seems like he's either drunk or on something like Xanax. He could barely keep his eyes open. Because he lives in Mexico, there is a 6-hour difference between UK and Mexico. It was probably 3:30 a.m. where he lives. No, that's slurring of speech, not sleepy. Definitely drink or meds. He looks a mess. Hey, Rick, you've got to go straight to the corner. It used to be in the group I was in. She was getting info on the Michael Long case. Hey, Poppy. Rick's... Saltsy was watching her for 18 months since first C&D. Do you think he would not have been watching her constantly since all platforms? He would have met people smarter than KJ before. Yes, true. Hey, Rick says, Sammy. I like how she's linking clips from GMB. She should have watched the whole thing. Yes. Wasn't on the show today after yesterday and all the complaints they got about him. Well, I believe he's left. This says, Harrison, spend this on your Auntie Jo. You know that he's going to insist on having that money. Is Rick grounded? Yes, Rick's been grounded. Harrison's banished him to the corner today. That's his punishment. Because Harrison wanted to go back and count up all the money that I owed him, and Rick has I've given Rick some permission on my channel so that if anything needs to be quickly edited, he can do it. And he made the video 18 plus, so he can't watch it. So he wasn't very happy. So anyway, off to the corner with him. So Amy Rachel King says, I just watched the Oprah special with Harry and Meghan. In a very small way, I can sympathise her. I too wasn't protected. I felt trapped and unheard. I felt like there was no way out. I felt used, controlled, and I was scrutinised. She says, Amy Duggar King, we hear you, we love you and support you. One day you will no longer be silenced. And then we get into this whole discussion about an NDA. Hey, Elizabeth. No peeking, Rick. We can't stop you from listening, though. Appears 41 complaints. Wow, he was popular. Now gone. So someone says, when does the NDA expire? And she says, never. That's terrible. Must be something that they don't want the public to know. Hurry up, Derek Dillard, and get that book out and blow this charade. Do Jill and Derek have an NDA? And she says, no. Derek refused to sign it, and it's likely part of the rift between JB, he, and Jill. Wish they would write a book. Her NDA should be void because it was most likely signed unlawfully without knowledge of Josh or unlawful factors that TLC and Jim Bob cultivated on the show. The expert says Amy did not grow up like the girls and was not brainwashed by Jim Bob. She was not a fundie and never was. I know that, but when you sign an NDA, it is supposed to be of the benefit of the person signing. If it is true that TLC did not compensate Amy like Jill and Derek, that would make it void. And you could argue that it did not disclose the molestation that Josh did that allowed her in an unsafe environment and put her at risk. That is what I'm saying, that depending what her NDA is all about, may be hard and expensive, but she probably has a good shot. She appeared in 19 Kids and worked with Jim Bob and TLC. What are the consequences to speak out? The expert says $500,000 lawsuit. We should start a GoFundMe money so we can get her to talk. What happens if she violates the NDA? Lawsuit. But if she comes out publicly, I think there would be a ton of backlash against the Duggars for enforcing the NDA. Like TV cancellation, bad, especially if it was used to cover up misdeeds and abuse. So when was Amy trapped, unheard of, silenced, controlled, and scrutinized? She was used by TLC and Jim Bob. KJ did an interview with Amy, but it was stopped as she had an NDA, and apparently someone stopped her, so KJ was not happy. But she's essentially spurting out a whole lot of stuff here. I don't know why you'd want to air all your family dirty laundry anyway. She was used by TLC and Duggar. I hope her NDA is not for life. She needs to be allowed to talk. Jesse Bear says, normally financial penalties, which can be insanely high. Who signed it? Her parents. She was underage. During counting on, she was not underage. Such injustice. Oh, if Jim Bob had nothing to hide. If she signed it and technically wasn't using the Duggars and their name just to be on TV, the only way someone would sign that agreement is to get what they want. So anyway, I don't know anything about NDAs, but I find it a little bit hard to believe that it's for life. I always thought an NDA had a time frame on it. If anyone knows, I'd love to hear. But there seems to be a lot of people, KJ seems to know a lot about her NDA. So, anyway. All you need to know is don't sign one, Michelle says. For life it does sound a bit extreme, doesn't it? It sounds like very much extreme. And then why did Jill and Derek not have to sign one? And she wasn't even Anyway, I don't know why she would sign one with a lifetime guarantee on it. Anyway. So here we go. Piers Morgan agreed to leave ITV and Good Morning Britain after his horrific statements trivialising Meghan Markle's struggle with suicidal thoughts. Thank you, Crescendo. Thank you for your super chat. Woohoo! ITV released the following. In a statement, ITV said, following discussions with ITV, Piers Morgan has decided it is now time to leave Good Morning Britain. ITV has accepted his decision and has nothing further to add. The announcement comes after broadcasting regulator Ofcom launched an investigation after it received more than 41,000 complaints regarding comment made by the presenter following Harry and Meghan's interview with Oprah Winfrey. After a clip aired of Meghan discussing her issues with mental health and suicidal thoughts and the royal officials' knowledge of them, Morgan said during Monday's program, "I'm sorry, I don't believe a word she says." So he's mad because she didn't call him back and he literally thought he had a shot at dating her. Let's all laugh. Pathetic crybaby. She says exactly right. If you're not part of the solution, you're part of the problem, Piers. Yes, welcome back, Crescendo. He did tweet that he wouldn't trust her to read the weather report. So someone says he's the only reason I watch morning TV. And then so someone else is saying that they're upset. It's not a good picture of him. Anyway. Oops. Where is that? There should be another one here. All right. Like the button if you enjoy Joe's laugh. Oh, my laugh gets me into so much trouble. I'm in so much trouble for being too loud. You're laughing too loud. Well, I'm sorry. All right. No, this is not working. Not working. I'll have to go back to what I was doing before. All right. Yes, there is a lot. We have a lot here. Oh. Even Oprah is shocked. For years, Piers Morgan degraded Meghan Markle's. Why did she spell her name wrong? Meghan Markle. With misogynistic, racist and demeaning rhetoric because she ghosted him. Piers had drinks with her one night, the same night she met Harry. Piers was bitter. He never heard from her again. This is really... Piers was bitter. She never heard from her again. It should be he never heard from her again. And began his years-long campaign of abusive journalism targeted at her. During that time, Meghan never responded to his vicious rhetoric that helped catapult the narrative of being a social climber, opportunistic, fame-hungry woman. Even though Piers has stated that he really liked her, Meghan's friends and co-workers have come out in her defence. Serena Williams called Meghan selfless, loving and brave. Her former co-stars on Suits said she is the most considerate and compassionate person he's ever met. In journalism, there is always a hero and a villain. Meghan, being an outsider, common folk, was not trusted by the royal tabloids or the royal family, much like Diana was not trusted. Really? The media eventually led to Diana's death. Harry, a child at the time, walked behind his mother's coffin. He lost his biggest and fiercest supporter. Harry is obviously still traumatized by what he saw the media do to his mother. I applaud him for doing what he needed to do to protect his family. Meghan and Harry didn't give dozens of interviews. They didn't go on record zillions of times. They gave one interview on why they left. They have a right to share their side. Piers Morgan and all the tabloids need to self-reflect on what they've contributed to and maybe change their methods. The end goal with Diana was death. What was the end goal with Meghan? What? So, you think she spells wrong on purpose? Piers Morgan is not cancelled, says Laura. Good morning, Beth. He really has been at her since she got engaged. Said it was because she was obviously a social climber. Piers sounds like a really nice guy, yeah. So, there's lots of different theories in here, but I'm interested from our UK people how it was received, how the interview was received over there, because I've read lots of reports that it wasn't very well received. Jimmy and Renegade Shelley love Derek Dillard. Who are they kidding? I saw this and immediately came here for this commentary. No, really nice guy is a subreddit heart. It's not a good thing to be a nice guy from this. Hey, Dominus, how are you? Rick's here somewhere. I think you'll find him in the corner. Harrison banished him to the corner. So then she says, the Queen has spoken. Just some casual gaslighting. Recollections may vary. So apparently it hasn't been well received, but that's according to the media. I don't know anyone who actually cares. Well, it's interesting because I found a whole lot of people that didn't care. It was a lot of the old. I was talking to some older Australians, when I say older, they're in their 80s, and I asked them about it, and they said, "Oh, we don't care." But the interesting thing is, though, these people were saying to me that for the royal family to survive, that William has to be the next king. So, and that this issue whatever's happened here might be the end of Charles. It's been a mixed response, yeah. If you've been following the Westbrook case, we've been following the Westbrook case. I know I was surprised they mentioned it, but I think she had to. I think she's had to. It says, "Bye, sister, UK Accountability Edition." I couldn't resist this thumbnail. Check out my story for the latest on Harry and Meghan post interview fallout. Now, those of us know that Tati Westbrook did a video called "Bye, Sister." And she's titled this video "Bye, Sister." Now, I don't know about you, but it could be perceived that she was having a dig at Tati here. Or am I totally misreading this? Yes, "Bye, sister." Yes, Carrie, "Bye, sister." This is what I'm saying. It's like she's coming unhinged. Because why would you, in the middle of a lawsuit, title a video that the person who's suing you had titled their video? Why? Somebody explain to me why. Hello, Phyllis. Hi, Phyllis. KJ is an attention-seeking. Can someone explain it to me why you would do that? Or am I the fool? As soon as I saw "Bye, sister," I went, no way. She didn't. It would be a smart move to skip over Charles and go straight to William. Yeah, I have the utmost respect for the Queen, and KJ is driving me insane with her ignorance. You can't make this stuff up, Phyllis. You can't. Psychotic, says Michelle. She never gets it. She always finds a way to skim out. Really? Bye, sister? Like, I could see Saltsy running around the office high-fiving everybody today. Because and then I would be on the phone to Brownie, because I call him Brownie. So does that mean the Queen is going to drop no more lies on Harry and Meg next week? I don't know. Narcissism, plain and simple. But yes, very disrespectful. Looks to me like she thinks she can say what she wants and trying to cancel the Queen as if, I know. Hey, she might be in her 90s. She might be in her 90s, but I wouldn't want to mess with the Queen. KJ knows exactly what she's doing. She'll be outside Buckingham Palace next week interviewing tourists. Joe, she has no self-awareness and is too arrogant to see what she's doing. Just crescendo. So who is KJ in this scenario? I wish I knew. Before she was James. Yes, Mr. Brown from Coffee Town. Hi, Solo 7. I said the Queen was 285. Well, she probably could live that long. She's in her 90s. I can't remember how she's not far behind Prince Philip. Jane says, I'm going on Insta to address this. So anyway, that's that. Yes, Bye Sister UK Accountability Edition. I might add, I did start watching the video and I watched about I got through the first few minutes and that was the end of me. So now she's back. Piers Morgan called Meghan intelligent, smart, great eye contact, cared about others and campaigns for the environment. He wanted an invitation to the wedding, never got one, and he published his hit piece on her. Here he admitted here that he knew Meghan couldn't be his friend when she started dating Harry. She's 94. Yeah, it is weird, Carrie. Hey, that Amber chick. Look at this. The Queen is 94 and her husband's 99. That Amber chick. Hello, that Amber chick in Solo 7. Look at this title that she did. Bye, Sister. Bye, Sister. UK Accountability Edition. And then says, I couldn't resist this thumbnail. I can't wait for Discovery. Come on, hurry up. I want Discovery. This is all stuff we've known for years. WOC just releasing news involved to uninformed US masses. True. And Amber Chick says, oh, Lord. Yeah. I reckon there was a phone call today. There had to have been. The owners of Circle of Hope Girls Ranch in Missouri, Householder, were taken into custody and arrested on a number of abuse charges. Their daughter, Amanda Householder, has been working to expose her parents' abuse of the girls in their care for years through a viral TikTok campaign. Amanda gained momentum, which led to dozens of victims coming forward. Amanda is also working with lawmakers in Missouri to pass legislation to regulate the schools. Missouri currently allows religious boarding schools to exist with no regulations or safeguards for children. Tomorrow, the Attorney General is holding a press conference to announce the charges. So, and of course, look, Amy Rachel King. How terrible. Anyone who abuses anyone needs to be hung by their toenails. I sound like the royals are some beauty gurus for YouTube. Sorry, Poppy. And I didn't cover my face quick enough either. I really apologize for that. The memes, though, but you stormed off. Well, I couldn't bear to be in the studio any longer. You agree? If things become too difficult, it's to remove yourself. It's okay to remove yourself from the situation. Can't understand KJ. She's delusional. Everyone knows if you're in any type of lawsuit, you shut up and keep your head down. Stay away from the windows so no one can record you. She just does it for them. She does. I mean, why would you, as I said, I don't know why you would name the video by sister. All right. So that was Instagram today. Now we head to Twitter. She can't meme. Well, she's probably still asleep at the moment, Jane. So she won't get to. Did you do it in the Queen one? Can we read it out? It must be at the top, is it? I don't know how they work out. All right, so that's that one. Right, so now I finished the stream yesterday. I get off and I get this message to say she started early at 7 a.m. and she's already tweeting. This was her post at 7 a.m. It was about midnight my time. Piers Morgan walked off the set after he's been called out for breaking Meghan Markle for years because she cut him off. She had a right to cut you off. Yes. He sounds like that jealous ex that will never go away. It's over, bro. I love this guy. What an amazing, well-thought-out statement. If not tolerating disrespectful, dangerous and cruel behaviour. Of course, the gaslighting narcissist couldn't handle being verbally chastised with the truth. Good to see strong men allying with strong women. I hate the fact we have to go through this. Do you still want to view it every time? All right. So then she says, Thomas Markle is delusional and heartless. And that's from Good Morning Britain. She's taken that one from. Just like his daughter then. Remember, Emmy's an actress and doesn't treat her siblings or father very nice. It cuts both ways. Your obsession says more about you than it does about the royal family. Being portrayed by a parent throws you into a psychological rabbit hole because now everything you trusted and thought is not real, or pretending you're okay for the firm is heartbreaking. Katie, please stop harassing Meghan and Harry and their families. Your obsessive tweeting is becoming creepy. You're entitled to your opinion. Just 1 or 2 or even 3 tweets would have been sufficient. She's come completely unhinged. Little doubt such examples of her flying into daily ignorant rages against people like this will be used against her by the Westbrooks attorney. She can't stop demonstrating that she's completely psychotic and rotten as hell, zero self-control. A man whining about losing control over his child. She's not yours to control. You're a toxic and cruel dad. She ran from your emotional debilitating behavior. That has been every olive branch offered. Amazing how people say dump toxic parents. When a child does, that child is terrible. Beresford is the only member of the cast who ever calls Piers out. It happened before, but Alex got his hours reduced, which did my head in. Oh, really? It's interesting. Right, so there's that one. Then there's this one. Dear Thomas, a huge reason Meghan suffered psychological trauma is because you and your daughter Samantha spend your life hurting her through the media. There you go. Then we've got Thomas Markle is basically blackmailing Meghan and Harry. Unless I hear from you, I'll keep doing the press about you. You sold her private letters, photos, ruined her wedding with this abhorrent behaviour. I hope she never talks to you again. So how many tweets is that? So she's retweeted this from Lorraine. My comment is under the thumbnail. Apparently, I have no idea what I'm doing on Instagram. All right. Hello, Ballistic. Thomas Markle is happy to turn up at the opening of the fridge door so he can trash his daughter. Let's give thanks to Meghan's mum, Doria Ragland, who has behaved impeccably since she started dating Harry. And so she's retweeted that. She's retweeted this. Thomas Markle actually allowed himself to be filmed watching Oprah. Is there nothing he will do for money? Embarrassing. So she's retweeted that one. The man accusing Meghan Markle of bullying leaked her private letter to the press, the same letter she won a case against in court. These bullying claims sound like retaliation. Oh, is it? This Twitter says it must be something. You don't get it. Okay. I only get it on her tweets, but I do know she had lots of reports on Twitter. So I thought it was because the fact that she was shadow banned. I've seen Piers Morgan's tantrum on GMB. That was funny, says Ballistic. Okay, then we've got Solo7 wants to know, what does she make it sound like she knows these people personally? She has a way of doing it with everyone she talks about. She writes like Meghan's her best friend and has told her personally how she feels. Yeah, I would agree. I think part of the problem with Thomas Markle is that they can't trust him with the other daughter. It was all down to her, that first photo went to, etc. Yeah. Really? Oh, it must be me. Okay. I'll have to see if there's a, but the thing is, I can't log in because I'm blocked. So that might also be it as well. Thomas Markle, a father of a biracial child, literally tried to minimize the racism she experienced. Sorry, that's not a father at all. Not at all. Thomas Markle is cancelled. I thought she was against cancel culture. So she's cancelling Piers Morgan, Thomas Markle, and the Queen. Not bad for a day's work. Not disagreeing with the sentiment, but you can see this tweet is in direct contradiction to your pinned tweet. He's emotionally blackmailing her by going to the press. He sold her private letters and photos. He should be silenced. Just a question. If someone says they're being racially abused, should we trust and believe them without any questions asked? Because there's lots of victims of racism that have accused people, then it turns out to be false claim. I find him to be a poor excuse of a father for his family's sake. I wish he would keep his comments to himself. If he ever wants a relationship with MH and their children, he needs to get his priorities right. He was trying to make it seem better and not call the royals. He will have dealt with racism, direct and indirect, every day. No one asking how he feels, though, with his daughter abandoning him. Maybe if he went on Oprah said he was suicidal, people would stop being so nasty. Okay. Yeah, that could, yeah. Well, that's true. Yes, it could be because you're not logged in. It doesn't know if you're an adult or not. It makes sense. Well, people do question whether I'm an adult or not, Sammy J, so that probably is true. Can someone please tell me, observing all this, how much time does this evil woman spend with her child and her delusional husband? That's a very good question, Crescendo, because I don't know the answer to that. I wish I did. Here we go. We're going back. She's going back to Princess Di now. Princess Diana wrote that Prince Charles never wanted a second son. She said he was so upset that he wasn't a girl that at the birth he said, "Oh, good, it's a boy," and then mocked Harry's hair. He's even got red hair. Sounds like Charles may have a problem with darker skin tones. What? How do you get that from that conversation? How does someone having red hair mean that that's a skin? Please. Oh. I will be honest, though, I don't think the racist comments should have been uttered if they weren't going to say who it was. Receipts, please. The conversation would most likely. Yes. Ishin Sames, Phyllis says, have happened before the wedding. I would have thought. I would have too. I know. I don't understand the conclusion she jumps to. Not surprising. He was obligated to have a son with Diana, even though he was still pursuing his mother, Camilla. And if you think about it, it seems like an 18, 19-year-old woman, Diana, was there just to produce heirs. Maybe like designer puppy cat mills. Sorry, this triggers me. Last comment, at least after the Q something married first cousin Albert, they realised mandibular progon is a problem and inbreeding is wrong. My first words after the birth of my second were, oh no, I wanted a girl. Do I regret that I said it? Would I change my son? Absolutely not. Sometimes we say things we regret. It doesn't mean we should actually be hated for it years later. Posts like this just add to Meghan and Harry. Posts like this just add to the pain Meghan and Harry are dealing with. What's the point? Even Prince Charles is an ass. This hurts. This has been out for years. I love Diana, but there were some things that should have been left unsaid. She was angry and rightfully so. Again, we don't know the whole story. For Harry, I am sad this is public. How would that make one feel? This is how divorce was back then. Anger and hurt and no regard for how these things may stick with the kids. Charles loves his kids. They both say it and they both love him. There are many documentaries on C&D and they explain the optics. It's really quite sad. None of us know the pressure of these people are under. Charles not taking Harry's calls is an immediate reaction. And you know what? It happens in families. I'm sure he was angry and hurt too. Harry was making a life-altering decision and one that Charles would know would have a global impact. There are so many docs and books on the royals and specifically on the relationship between Charles and Di. Di passed before cooler heads prevailed. If you look at Fergie and Andrew, you see things have calmed. I can't help but wonder how time would have healed there. She sees things no one else can see, says Carrie. Ballistic, same. I just can't. Robin Roundtree says, yeah, because most every ginger I've seen has been darker skinned. Dark-skinned, almost every redhead I've ever met was so white they were clear. I can't stand her bringing Princess Diana up. Let this woman rest in peace, and it's not fair on Harry or no, it's not fair on Harry or William. There shouldn't even be comparisons. You know, she tweeted before that, or she put on Instagram or on Twitter that, you know, the media killed Diana. And, like what does she not... Anyway, she's retweeted another one. Piers Morgan and his friend alleged sex trafficker and rapist of multiple children. Ghislaine Maxwell. Is that the one that Prince Andrew's, has he been caught up in that? I'm not sure. I can't keep up. Thanks to a viral video of Piers Morgan having a temper tantrum and walking off set, I've learnt about this guy, Alex Beresford, a hero, but also the sexiest Brit I've ever seen. She makes so many assumptions. We have no idea their true feelings about each other or what goes on behind closed doors. Only one we can say is racist, really, is the old dude that says racist stuff. I was wondering, was it Prince Philip that said it and Harry said that it wasn't Prince Philip's just to protect him? I don't know. So imagine being ghosted by a friend and then going off about her for 5 years. Piers Morgan seems more like a man that had a crush on Meghan Markle, got rejected, and now wants to humiliate her. Classic narcissistic behaviour. LOL. This is what I feel about the hate community you have. She was rude to me once, so now I'm going to go after her for 2 years. And of course, that got a reaction. I thought the same thing, acting like a full-on schoolboy, got his feelings hurt. She says, yes. So not only was she posting, she was also responding. I told you Twitter was full-blown today. Look, we got heaps. Maybe more of ITV sponsors and partners need to speak out against Piers Morgan for his atrocious behaviour. If this would have happened in the US, I believe he would have been fired. I swear she would compare the attacks of the paparazzi did to Di to the terrible videos being made about her. I mean, she's already compared herself to Britney Spears. Why not Diana too? Yes, Jennifer. I'm waiting for that one. Yeah, nice guy. His old peer. So there's that one. We will always have your back. She's retweeted Amy Rachel King. We saw that on Twitter. Here's another one. Piers Morgan clearly had a crush on Meghan Markle. He says she ghosted him after meeting Prince Harry. She fell in love. Most people, when they initially fall in love, ghost their friends. Piers is so bitterly jealous that she didn't pick him. How many tweets has she essentially said the same thing? He's a narcissist, but he can be compassionate when he feels it's warranted. He's usually going off on all the woke stuff. His wife is a journalist as well and successful. All right. Right. After seeing how the royal family and their staff have treated family members this week, I'm feeling super grateful the US won the Revolutionary War. It's great we are independent and not part of a monarchy. Yes, she's gone there. She has literally gone there. Now we're going to get a history lesson. Crescendo says she has no clue what she's talking about. So here we go. History lesson. I sometimes take for granted that our forefathers drafted our constitution so we would not experience the same pitfalls of the UK. We wanted freedom of religion, separation from church and state, and we wanted freedom from colonization. The US isn't perfect, but I'm grateful. KJ is mad when Twitter charged for every tweet. Hello, Tracy. Ballistic says, when does she ever know what she's talking about? Canada is better in many aspects, and we are a Commonwealth country. Crystal Bill, I wonder if Katie even knows about our Commonwealth, LOL. Australia and Canada are quite similar in our ways. Well, I am for one glad we have a monarchy. I am very proud of my British heritage. Are you proud of yours? Segregation and slavery was never a thing in Great Britain. I love the USA. I truly love the people, but please don't judge other countries until all your citizens are truly free. Crystal Bill says 100%. You constantly play on radical beliefs. Your husband of all people is racist. As much as you both try to cover it up, it's disgusting. You should really stop exaggerating your beliefs in an attempt to gain subs. African Americans do not want you as their voice, as a voice for them. Todd has more devotion to his faith than he does to Katie. Some of these must be blocked. Yeah. Lies, lies, lies. I highly doubt you speak for all people of colour. Zag, he is not wrong. Katie is a privileged white woman from Minnesota who has her own problematic racial issues. There are quite a few POC who have asked her to zip it. Her virtue signals are for her own gain to try and deflect from her own crappy comments. So anyway, what else have we got here? Yep. So anyway, there was your history lesson. We have two. We have that too. We have a monarchy. You have a monarchy. Yes, you do. The disrespect she shows, says Sammy J. freedom of religion as long as KJ agrees with it, says Jane. Correct. I bet she will lose a lot of UK Commonwealth subs, Sammy J. I hope so. I hope she does, because to me, she's been very disrespectful. It would be me doing a whole pile of videos on, like the presidency and all that sort of stuff. I got no idea what I'm talking about. We're still not done yet. Why not? She hated our government. It's time to attack another country as well. I personally hate it when those not in our country attack our government. I'm sure those in other countries do too. Yeah, well, that's right, Jennifer. It'd be like me making statements about America. Me too. Yeah, I'm a royalist all the way. Is that the right term? Yeah. I'd say I'm a step. Look, I'm not. I do like. I mean, they don't affect our day-to-day life really. I'm off to have dinner. Have a great night, day. All right, see you, El Bananas. I'm very proud to be British. I have a French passport, a Swiss passport, but Lord knows I'm proud to be part of our monarchy. Screw you, KJ. Hopefully you will go down soon. Let KJ compare herself to Diana, then watch the backlash. Yes, Dominus. She'll just buy more subs, said Solo. I had the same thoughts. Oh, I kind of personally prefer the UK government to the American one. Monarchist versus royalist discussed. Oh. Ballistic says, I'm 100% not a royalist. I think it's outdated and no place in our modern world, but I'm also aware others have a different opinion, and that's okay. So anyway, so that's that one. So I'm from New Zealand and we voted no to leaving the Commonwealth. We have it cushy in New Zealand and we are grateful. I have an Aussie and UK passport. I'm damn proud of that. Well, see, New Zealand's the same as us. Part of the Commonwealth. Doesn't really bother us. I think the only time we play God Save the Queen is on Anzac Day. It's the only time I'd hear it because the RSL play, when they do their Anzac Day services. But other than that. So she says, now the family wants privacy. Now the family wants privacy. Yes, she's mocking the fact that the Queen has said that they would deal with it privately. So someone says they are acknowledging what Harry and Meghan said and saying they will address their issues privately, as they should do, and as they should be allowed to do, and obviously as they should have done sooner. Every family deserves privacy. Isn't that what you want for your family? What do you want them to do? Deal with the issues in front of the palace gates? Don't most families try to sort out problems and issues privately? Does your family deal with problems in front of all and sundry? Also, what Meghan forgot to tell the whole of America was Archie will become prince when his grandfather becomes king. Meghan didn't want to give Archie a title in the first place. Maybe the American people should know all the facts and not Meghan's version. Well said. People who don't know the facts and are not interested in all the facts are pushing their own narrative because it suits them. It seems to bring them attention. The truth isn't always as exciting. So are they not entitled to privacy when it comes to personal family matters? Have you forgotten that they are as human as you or I are? Do you realise that this kind of obsession by public and press killed Harry's mother? Is that what should happen to his wife? I knew from the start how this would turn out. Did we not learn from his mother? So she got called out for that one. Christopher, I'm surprised she hasn't found a way to purchase viewers. Means nothing when her channels with much lower sub counts meet or exceed her viewers' subs without engagements means nothing. That's correct. I've got 59 at the moment, but I can get up to 150. I think So she's back onto Piers Morgan again. KJ clearly can't comprehend other people thinking differently to her. She seems like she sees opposing opinions as trolls. Sammy says, that's how the Queen deals with almost everything, KJ. Maybe you could learn something from that. I've never known the Queen to even deal with anything publicly. I think even when Diana died, the Queen issued a statement and then took the time to issue following statements, but she doesn't. She does everything privately. I just had afternoon tea on the Queen's birthday. Oh, nice. So, and that's what I don't, yeah. And if a little bit of research or due diligence, she would notice. So here you go. She's happy. Piers Morgan cancelled. He quit GMB, but he's under investigation by Ofcom, the media regulator, for violating harm and offence rules. Ofcom received over 41,000 complaints after he went off about not believing Meghan Markle was suicidal. Cancelled. Then she says Meghan Markle didn't even say Piers Morgan's name and she successfully got him cancelled. Never complain, never explain is the royal family motto. And it says, thought you weren't a fan of cancelling people. He cancelled himself. There's a difference. I agree. Cancelled himself. If he hadn't behaved completely unhinged, unacceptable, spewing dangerous, hateful lies, he'd still have a job. Can't help someone who insists on being despicable. Piers Morgan is the worst kind of radical, nice guy, homophobic, misogynistic, racist. And then Katie says it was his behaviour that got him into trouble. He knew that ITV was working with charities surrounding mental health. Their charity partner was livid with ITV for allowing the detrimental narrative about Meghan be spewed by Piers. Then he was under investigation by Ofcom. His behaviour caught up with him. Is he officially fired? He's been a dumpster fire for years. He effectively quit. So... I think what did you do that to KKKJ? Did you do that? Forget so that countries can choose to leave the Commonwealth at any time. I know it takes a vote, but it can be done, yes. And you can become a republic and still be a Commonwealth country. Canada is a republic, so they don't have the Queen as the head of state, but they still have a prime minister. They're still part of the Commonwealth. KJ is just completely off the rails, unhinged right now. It's like she's on the attack against anything and everyone, anything and everything to try and find relevance and attention from public persons. She's deluded and insane. Piers got himself, yes. Pot. Kettle says Robin, and Dominus said he did do it deliberately. Okay. I won't be silenced. Amy Duggar King slams Ginger Bob Duggar for controlling her. Now, people that saw that video said that she essentially went on stalked Amy Duggar King's Instagram and took a series of tweets like that one about being silenced and all that and made a narrative out of it. Jake Tapper, you are on the wrong side of this one. Please sit down. This is what happens when you live in a country where there is no First Amendment insanity. Variety UK media regulator Ofcom launched an investigation after more than 41,000 people complained about Piers Morgan's comment on Meghan Markle. So she's saying, please sit down. Yes, it did go, but yeah. All right. This is interesting because she's now here retweeting this journalist. This person is a journalist. She's an Australian journalist. And Katie's retweeting her. So this is from Piers Morgan, years of abuse right up to and including the day Meghan tells the world that ongoing abuse has made her suicidal. It's what happens when strong women reject powerful men. For the record, Meghan has never responded to any of it. So that's all of that. But that's an Australian journalist. KJ, you sit down, or better, despair from the in here. disappear from the internet. Yes, Dutch. All right, see you later, Crescendo. She won't let anyone else. No, she won't let anyone else have opinion. So again, she's done a retweet. Give Oprah the Nobel Peace Prize for destroying the monarchy and Piers Morgan's career in less than a week. The monarchy wasn't destroyed. The Queen is still the Queen. How the hell's the monarchy been destroyed? They've still got the Queen, they've still got Charles, they've still got William, and they've still got George. They've still got the succession to the throne. I don't know how you could say the monarchy's been destroyed. But anyway. Yes, King, yes. Alex Beresford, I wish I had the privilege to sit on the fence. In order for me to do that, I'd have to strip myself of my identity, and that's not something I can do. It's not any of our places to pick apart claims of racism in order to make us feel more comfortable. Yes, King, yes, she says. I've still got heaps more to do. Joy Anna's Duggar's father-in-law gets physical with Gideon over thumb sucking plus another pregnancy. Here's more Piers Morgan stuff. Piers Morgan used his platform to disparage, harass, and demean Meghan Markle simply because she never called him again after meeting Harry. His campaign to ruin her reputation is an example of toxic masculinity, and journalism like this deserves no place in society. Did you know that he had quit his position on GMB? He stormed off set after his co-host challenged him on his views and confronted him regarding Meghan cutting him off. Yes, Ofcom opened an investigation into him. She's an expert, you see. Not the first time he's been complained about either. Sacked from the Mirror for printing fake images of British troops abusing Iraqis and implicated in the phone hacking scandals, including of a murdered schoolgirl, giving her family hope she was still alive. Gross. He's literally a scumbag. What a load of crap from yet another ill-informed American. This is our royal family that none of you will ever understand properly. Piers was speaking his truth and voicing what the majority over here in the UK are thinking. Katie, seriously, I thought better of you, girl. KJ, the monarchy isn't going anywhere. No. And they do realize does she realize that Harry is sixth in line to the throne? Normalize never giving Piers Morgan a platform again. She's been really busy, almost manic-like. Yes, Sammy J, she has. Did Meghan ghost Piers? I hadn't heard that before. Well, except the 60 times KJ has said it in last century. I have no idea, Jennifer. I really wish I knew. Normalize never. So someone says, what? You're the one who hates and can't stand the attacks on your person. We Brits love him and most agree with him totally. I thought you went into cancel culture. I've backed you for 2 years now. Give the man a break. Oh, a filing is due. Yes, Dominus. But the thing is, she didn't go nutty before the last one. There has to be something coming. I wondered whether Brownie was going to withdraw his motion for and that's why she was coming unhinged, but it's just sounds like KJ has been ghosted heaps lately. People are ignoring her. So this is her video. The Queen responds to Harry and Meghan. Piers Morgan quits after co-host drags him for Meghan comments. Yes, it's the response to Brown being removed. She's scared. Yeah, I think so. So we're going to... I don't know how much Then she's come on and bragged, I could not resist this thumbnail. For those of you who haven't seen it, this is it. Bye, sister. The accountability edition. And someone says, I'm like literally dying. As an American, you'll never get it. Piers will be highly missed. I think he's wonderful and speaks thoughts of our nation. I'm English, safe for all. Are we talking about Tati Westbrook or the royal family from UK or both? I'm lost. Oh. She does seem manic. I personally can't stand Piers. Okay, lots of okay people in UK don't like him. There is something definitely comes out of that lawsuit. We find out when. Yes, there is. We will find out. But she's gone crazy. Most people I know think that I'm crazy. Yeah. I wanna act a little hasty. Yeah. She says, I will never understand a woman that supports a man using sexist and racist rhetoric over another woman. I can't relate. Yes, I did like your comment, Dutch. That's why I went, oh. No, we're still waiting. So we're waiting for the response to that. So Sharon Osborne says, I'm with you, I stand by you. People forget that you're paid for your opinion and that you're just speaking your truth. Someone says, even though Sharon's claimed to battle depression for 16 years but has proven time and time again she's not for supporting other women. Are we really shocked by her statement? LOL, Sharon Osborne isn't exactly a role model of a woman standing up for women. Look at the pig she's married and the impact he had on her children. And we also know that KJ is not women. She's not a woman to support women. Don't Saltsy and Brown have to meet and discuss before filing? Before that, like they were supposed to. Yeah, well, that was supposed to have come up in the phone call that was in the last lot of filings. It's very confusing, Michelle. It's very confusing. All right, we're still going here. Another retweet here. Cry not for Piers Morgan. There are plenty of bridges for him to find work under. Sincerely, the jumped up twerp. She's still going. The safe harbour for the Rule 11 section is up too. I wonder if Brown is filing that. She seemed very confident in her case, which makes me wonder what Brown has up his sleeve. Yes, that's true. That's the only thing. But, I don't know. But this tweeting and this stuff on Instagram, and we can watch one of the videos, is just bizarre. Absolutely bizarre. And we've got yet another tweet. So this is all she's done all day. No, it's his response. That's right. The amount of comments I received on my posts about Meghan Markle not even being black and using the race card for sympathy proves that racism in the UK is very real. Now, I've not seen anything on her posts, so she's obviously deleting them. She's half American. She's half African American, so she's black. All right. Crystal Bill says there's been a black queen before in the 1700s, Queen Charlotte, ancestor to Queen Elizabeth. So please tell me how racism is a factor. It's got nothing to do with race. Meghan is a woman who explodes when she doesn't get her way. If only Katie would delve beyond the surface. Tell me what you honestly and genuinely know about the UK. The royal family have protocols that apply to everyone, irrespective of race. Meghan married into the royal family but refused to follow protocol, as did many others before her. Why did she expect the outcome to be different for her? Things went south for her because of her behaviour, not because of her race. She was accepted into the family right from the start. Harry confirmed that if her race was an issue, they would never have allowed the marriage to take place. That is actually a good point. Yes, there's racism in the UK, just like there is racism, unfortunately, in a lot of countries, including your own. Please don't tar us all with the same brush, and not all of us who love our royal family are racist. Racism is everywhere, just like every person in the USA isn't racist. Neither is every person in the UK, nor in the royal family. I'm sick of her throwing racism around. Your privilege card is showing Kate. Oh, I know. It's like another video. All right, we're just about done. This is the last tweet. Earlier today, Piers Morgan gloated about ratings from Monday, the day he called Meghan a liar about having suicidal thoughts, and argued that racism exists and that no racism existed in the royal family. I'm glad he was put in his place and shamed publicly. Good riddance. If it wasn't for that interview, they wouldn't have had high ratings. They should be thanking Oprah, Meghan, and Harry. So there you go. What do you think about it all? That's pretty, yeah, it was. For somebody that doesn't like cancel culture, she was very much about cancelling people today. So I just don't know what she's doing. Somebody can explain it to me. I'd be very happy. Because I can't do it. Phyllis says, I am beyond disgusted. Well, that was my first thought too, Phyllis. And I thought, no, she can't go low. She can't go any lower. And then she did. Sorry, oops, that's automatically playing. All right. She is so desperate to keep her presence up on social media. Yeah. So today, she did 3. It's nice of people that take their time to explain. It said, yeah, I'm going to pull up the, there are some pretty good comments. I got screenshots earlier because I wasn't sure whether they were going to stay up. So I'll have a look. We'll have a look. You'll see how far I got in. That was a lot. That was exhausting, going through all her mess. This is a woman involved in a lawsuit. She's against cancel culture, except Piers Morgan, the monarchy, the Duggars, just today. Yeah, that's right, Jennifer. That's today. Just today. A complete load of BS as usual. I don't want to understand her system. She's trying to be relevant, says Julianne. Katie should go back into her bots and someone take away her social media. She defies it. So let's have a look, see what the comments are. All right. So let's just look at the comments. So this is her video. The Queen responds to Harry. Not many people. It's had 6,000 views, which is not very much. There's been a lot of dislikes. Oh, yeah, and don't forget Dr. Phil. That's right. Christoph Fan always says. She wants to cancel him too. That was their short overnight statement to get something out quickly. They are working on a longer response that's been made clear today by British journalists who speak with those within the institution, pinning this so people can see exactly. The royal family always do this. Someone says, I'd be worried about how they handle things privately before. My favourite tweet today, Piers Morgan publicly bullies a woman for leaving a situation where she was made to feel more uncomfortable. Also, Piers Morgan, picture of him leaving ITV stage after being made to feel uncomfortable. I think the accusations from Meghan's stepsister and dad are actually speaking of themselves. Morgan Pierce is annoying. Agreed. I feel there is a lot of gaslighting going on. This one, not that the Crown is 100% accurate, but I don't see history completely repeating itself. I don't understand how people can say she's lying, just saying. Because KJ agrees. In fact, there's a lot of things I think are missing. It's a family matter. should have been done before the interview. It's interesting. There was a lot of stuff not here. So, and then we've got another history lesson here. The Declaration of Independence and the American Revolution had more to do with being taxed without representation in British government. The Bill of Rights, i.e. freedom of speech, press, religion, wasn't a thing until 1791. Then she says, people came here in the 1600s to be able to practice their own religion. That was not a right in the UK at the time. That is a founding principle of our government to have separation. So, because she's only commented on certain things now. Let me pull up the stuff that got deleted. There's some stuff. So someone says the behaviour of Meghan Markle's father and sister are terrible. And she goes, abhorrent. Doesn't explain anything that defies explanation how she can afford all the subs she bought. Yes, that's right. So, yeah, there's a lot of, let me pull up my comments. Let me pull up some screenshots that I took earlier, thinking that this would happen. What I took before, as I took earlier today, let me have a look, because there's some screenshots on this article that are different to what she's got there. So I'm just going to close this down and let me pull them up and let's have a look. Well, that was about the NDA. Hang on, there's several today. Here we go. It's amazing all the comments that disappeared. Oh, let's have a look. Right. So here's the first one here. This is probably the main one, the really good one. It says it makes no sense that she couldn't say anything positive. Does anyone have any thoughts on why? So, does anyone have any thoughts why she can't say anything positive? Sure, there's lots of reasons why. Buying subs and paying for a lawyer, it says Midnight. I have always have my eye on KG. Yeah, I should be doing assignments, so this is the thing. I was thinking this is nearly a full-time job. This is like nearly a full-time job, just doing this, because it's we just don't know when she's going to hit the delete button. Like the $200 pallets, the Botox, they would have had. This one I didn't. Botox they have that as they're required in her line of work being on screen. Yes, that's right. That's her excuse for the beauty items. She's a miserable old cow. That's why it says Dominus. It's StreamYard, actually. Well, I mean, he's the closest person that I know that lives to it. Oh, this was a good one too. That one was, I don't know where that one came from. Okay, so some of this stuff had to do with Amy Duggar King as well, but this is something, this wasn't there. You took the words right out of my mouth. Don't expose me like that. Oh, look. So this one is, she says, she can't be positive because she's not happy seeing anyone else happy. She wants everyone to be. So she posted this on someone's Twitter. Sit this one out, read the room. Sit this one out, read the room. Well, she doesn't read the room, does she? So. Well, she does have some cows in the neighbourhood, apparently. I find it funny that as Civil says, Brown looks at everything in the worst possible light because that's what KJ does too. Well, that's right. So. This is interesting. Wow, that was so powerful. I've never commented on your channel before, but you were spot on, and this was important. Thank you for using your platform to bring awareness to the real issue. Thank you for watching. This story resonates with me on so many levels. What? The Queen? It resonates on her. When his father becomes king, Harry will have the same position in the royal family as Prince Andrew. Prince Andrew's daughters have princess titles, so it would be fair that Harry's son should be a prince. Yes, that's correct. Yeah. So she's been talking about this. Your commentary is fair and balanced when it comes to royal family. Love your videos recently, although I never watched the Duggars. Oh, dear. So this is interesting. I don't know who made the racist comments about Archie's complexion, so maybe it wasn't Charles. But it's very sad that Charles seems to have learnt nothing from how Diana and died, and mental health in particular. Standing by and not commenting to support his son's wife says a lot. I think she said that he didn't tell anyone. They can all support Andrew, but no kindness for his son's family. I think losing the protection is unforgivable considering how Andrew has faced no consequences for a scandal. Family's broken. I'm glad Harry and Meghan have distanced themselves. And she says, it's gross that how they protect Andrew. The man still has his titles. He's the Queen's son. Now, it was reported today. It was reported today because the UK media, I think on one of the newspapers it says remove their titles. And it was reported today that to remove their titles, it actually has to go through Parliament to have their titles removed. The Queen can give titles, but she can't remove them, apparently. However, today it was reported that the Queen is meeting with each one of the senior royals individually and privately to find out what was or was not said. So Charles, Camilla, William, Kate, and anyone else in that circle. So she was going to meet with them privately and individually, I guess, because she wants She doesn't want anybody to feel uneasy about talking to her. The other thing that came out, a palace historian, Penny Dura, she's a palace historian, says that there are 400 employees that run the palace, that the royal family rarely talk to each other, and it is done through staff most of the time. So they very rarely, according to this Penny Dura, they very rarely talk to each other. So it could have been virtually a case of Chinese whispers from this person to this person, and the messages got skewed. The Queen is also looking into the claims that Meghan could not get help with her mental health, as they have a whole medical household full of medical experts that would have helped. So I read that I read 4 or 5 different articles today, and that was the summary of them all. So, yeah. The soccer can't say it. Andrew's issues are allegations. They are allegations. You are correct. Now, I want to play you something too. And they are allegations. I mean, he did make a mess up of the interview that he did, and he was told he wasn't allowed to do it again, like do TV again, and they've got him put away. But he's still a prince. Even if he was in jail, he'd still be a prince. He doesn't lose his title because he's the Queen's son. I want to show you this because this was interesting today. I came across this. Now, this was released actually before the interview.
Hello.
Before the interview. And I saw this when you did this live hours before the interview dropped on Twitch. I was shocked then and still shook now. So we're going to watch this. He was right with his first reading before they got married. So this was dropped before the interview. So someone's written here, I saw this when you did this live hours before the interview dropped on Twitch. Yeah, I was shocked then and still shook now. You haven't been off on your readings, and Lord, we haven't seen the ugly yet. So I thought I might share it. So all right, so let's have a look at what, and then tell me what you think, because I watched this today and I was pretty shocked.
Hello, Aphrodite here, your pop culture psychic, back again with another reading. This time, it is on Prince Harry and Meghan Markle. So, I actually did a reading on them in the royal wedding before it happened a million years ago. I will put a link to it here. Fair warning, it's scuffed. It's really, 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 really poorly executed because it was one of the first readings I've ever done. And it was just clipped and ripped right from my Twitch stream, so there's alerts going off, and it's kind of chaotic. However, I did predict a lot of what's going on. It's the way I communicated it, probably a little bit too blunt and straightforward. I've definitely learned a new approach at communicating for sure. That was like the first time I've ever done a video like that. Reminder, I've been doing this for a long time, just not on YouTube. Definitely learned how to properly express some of the concerns I had back then. However, I digress. You got the gist of it. I was right about a lot of things. So back then, everyone was loving her, and then now the media is kind of picking up on some selfish tendencies, which unfortunately I did see coming. So,
Dominic says, "I can't believe psychics are still a thing." Well, I mean, I'm a little bit like you. I look at that pause. I just have it for pausing them in the most amazing positions, but I think, yeah, this was interesting. This was interesting.
I am just going to see what I see. I'm going to trust my intuition and the cards. Please don't send any hate to me or anyone else. Remember, these readings are all alleged for entertainment purposes only. And I'm just going off of what I see. So I'm going to get true intentions here. All right? So let's just get started. Well, she's definitely rebellious. So the Knight of Wands is a rebellious person, someone who's trying to cause a problem. So yes, I mean, obviously, shocker, she's got an axe to grind. She's a little bit mad at how she's been treated. So it's complete rebellious stuff. Again, I'm just being honest. When it's a knight, it is a little bit childish, but I digress. The Knight of Swords is about overthinking and overanalyzing, and the King of Wands is upright. So to me, she wants people she wants, I guess it's probably the royals, she wants them to kind of be shook a little bit. So she's kind of just trying to make them nervous. You know, when like you're edging someone, you're like, ooh, that's kind of what it is. It's like she's not really going to say much and she's not really going to do much, but she wants them to think that she's going to say stuff and do stuff. She's
like KJ. Oh, they're not going to give me a cease and desist. They're not going to give me a cease and desist. She failed.
basically calling the bluff. Like that's what it is. Like she's bluffing about a lot of the stuff that she wants to share, because she wants them to sort of be terrified, but she's not actually going to do much. So the King of Wands here tells me that she still does care about the image. I do still see this, and I'm sorry, but I have to say it. As you know, the Ace of Pentacles is money, the Page of Pentacles is money and expectations, and the Ace of Cups is love. I do believe that financial abundance and opportunity was a major factor in her marriage. I know a lot of people find that controversial. It shows up every single time. I also do think that she enjoys the money that she's making from going to the rounds, you know, and the publications, stuff like that, or at least the attention or the acquirement of things, because the Ace of Pentacles and the Page of Pentacles indicates a physical acquirement. So I do have to say that. Again, it showed up. It's right there. I can't read that any other way. Please do not shoot the messenger. I am just doing my job here. The Fool's upright, which means that she plays naive very well.
What do you reckon so far? What's your first thoughts on what he's said so far? I wonder what KJ would make of this. Oh. We already knew this about KJ. But this is about Megan. Yeah, I know. It could be the same person, couldn't it, really? It really could be the same person.
She is not naive. So that's another thing that I have to say. The Temperance card says she's very patient and she waits, and the Three of Pentacles is reversed here, which tells me that she has some last curveball that she's saving up her sleeve, something that she hasn't put too much work into yet, but she will if she has to. Now, I don't really follow the royals. I don't really know anything about the royals, so I'm not sure what the pregnancy or children stuff is like, so I can't really comment on this, but there's some sort of drama when it comes to kids. I don't know if there was problems with naming kids. I don't know if there's a problem with having kids. I don't know if there's a problem with how many kids. But there's definitely a problem with that. The Knight of Pentacles is consistency, and the Six of Cups is kids. So we see that as like, this is a tradition that we do all the time, and then we see the Five of Swords, which means she doesn't want that tradition. So there has to be some sort of disconnect with the traditions of children versus what she wants for her children. Again, I'm sorry, I don't follow the royals, so I have no idea what's going on, and I'm kind of probably should have figured that out, but whatever, it's not a big deal. Someone will tell me in the comments. Again, this is the same behavior that I saw before. The Eight of Wands is reversed, the Sun is reversed, and the Ten of Wands. So the relationship is a little bit of a burden. It's not an unhealthy burden. Shocker, it's the royals. But the Sun is reversed and the Eight of Wands, which says slowly over time the happiness has dissipated from their connection. I am not really shocked to see that. I see her as extremely, extremely demanding. Again, I don't know how else to say this because this is just how she shows up. Now, mind you, I do know the one thing I am aware of is that there's a lot of racism towards her in the media. I just want you to remember that two things can be happening at once. She could be kind of selfish while they're also being racist. So I think you need to keep that in mind, is that both of those things can happen at the same time.
You can't change the stars, says Wind Whispers. All right.
And I actually feel like that's what's going on. Because once again, the Queen of Swords is about saying one thing and doing another, which is a sly character to me. It's also someone who's bossy and probably has poor communication skills behind closed doors. The Queen of Cups, again, cold emotionally. These two are the coldest cards I could pull for a female. So again, I'm sorry. I just have to say that. Please don't shoot the messenger. I'm open to being wrong, but I was right the first time, so take it as you will. The King of Pentacles is status. I also see that as someone who's strong, so that's, I think Harry is his name, right? I don't think he cares. I see him as like a rock. I see him as just, I'm going to be honest, I see him as a follower. He wanted a strong woman to follow, and he found it. So I don't really see him as having any of his own thoughts. I don't really see him having his own ideas. I kind of just see him following. So that's what I see. The Two of Swords is upright, the Six of Pentacles is reversed, and the Two of Pentacles. Yeah, I mean, that's not shocking. He wants to separate from all of them because he doesn't like the restriction. He wants to be free. He doesn't like all the rules, the restriction. He doesn't like how unfair everything is. So, shocker, he wants out of that. Magician's upright, Five of Wands, and Seven of Wands. Who is this? Uh-oh. She needs to be careful. So the Magician is her saying something. Uh-oh. Okay, the Five of Wands is a confrontation. The Seven of Wands means she can't get out of it. There is something that she either tweeted in the past, said in an interview, or maybe currently is recorded on a phone call saying something or something like that. Someone...
This actually could be KJ, really, couldn't it? It really could be KJ's story. That's...
As something she said that is really bad. The Queen of Wands is reversed, which is like her angry, and the Page of Swords is like something you don't want to combat about, and the Nine of Pentacles is reversed, which are other people. So I got the motivation for her trying to piss people off and bluffing. Someone has something on her, and they were threatening to release it if she didn't fall in line. So she ran to America to start talking to make them nervous. So we have her trying to call their bluff while bluffing herself, and whoever this is having this piece of information on her and having to decide whether they want to release it or not, or what they're going to do with it. So she's aware of this, or at least has an inkling of it, and she's trying to beat them at their own game. Yikes. Yeah. And the Lover's card's reversed and the Two of Cups is reversed. So it has to be, there might be two things. There might be something from her past. The Lover's card makes me think of parallels. So I think there's someone from her past before she was married, and there's also someone from, I think, the royal family or in that circle, because the Two of Cups reversed and Nine of Cups, which means that this is someone that did not want them to get married.
Piers Morgan. This reading could be about, yes, I know, that's what I'm saying. Yeah, like when I actually was listening to it, because I listened to it before, because I came up, I was listening to it and I had to go, who is this about? Because this technically could be about KJ.
She's also got to be careful because there is another piece of information that they have on her that they're waiting for her to accidentally incriminate herself in an interview. So she really needs to be careful, because I see self-sabotage and the Ace of Wands with the Four of Cups, which is just attachment and the birth of something new. So is she pregnant? Because the Ace of Wands could be a pregnancy, and that could be like an announcement that they're trying to sabotage. I wonder if they're going to try and sabotage a pregnancy announcement or something like that, or maybe they're waiting until she gives birth and then they're releasing it. But there's definitely something. Gossip fodder. Yeah, and the Seven of Cups and the Hermit's upright. This girl is screwed, and it's her own fault. So, unfortunately, she really truly thinks that she can outsmart the royals.
Still could be KJ. really still could be. It really still could be.
And that is why I told you she's naive in the beginning of this reading. She's completely delusional and actually vehemently believes that she can outsmart them. They didn't exist for a gajillion years for no reason. And she is so short-sighted in this. Why would you do this? You knew what you were getting into. Why would you do this? Oh my god. I will say this, I don't see true love. I know everyone likes to paint that story. I'm not saying it's not there. All I'm saying is I don't see it. So I can't comment on what I don't see. Take that as you will, interpret as you will. The Eight of Cups is about running. The Judgment card is reversed, which is embarrassment, and the Strength card is stubbornness. So I see her kind of trying to run from this situation when it happens. Oh. You want to know what's going to happen? Megan thinks that the media being on her side is a victory. What she doesn't realize is the media is on her side because it's making her the money, and when it no longer makes the money, they're going to chuck her aside and they're going to throw her under the bus. And that's what the Hierophant is, the Nine of Cups reverse and the Knight of Swords. So this is like impure intentions. That's the freaking media. The Nine of Cups is about eventually not getting what we want from you, and the Hierophant is something we committed to. So it has to be the commitment she's making to all the media stuff that she's doing. They like you now. But when they don't like you anymore, they're going to spin the narrative and you're going to get screwed. And guess what? They're going to reconnect with the royals. They might be against the royals now, but they need the royals for the gossip fodder. So they'll go right back to them and you'll be chucked to the side. She is playing with fire. Girl, you are playing with fire. And the funny thing is, she has a secret on a male. So the Emperor is reversed. The Emperor has to be like a prominent male figure. The High Priestess is distrust, which means someone told her something they shouldn't have about some prominent male in the royals. And the Moon is the secret. She thinks that people will care about her secret, but not only will people not care about her secret, they either A, won't believe her, or two, it won't be published. So she thinks she has this like smoking.
This is chat. Why does the chat look like all bot accounts, no faces? Well, most of them interact, so I know they're not bots. Unless, Rock Chick, I've been talking to robots for the last, I don't know, however long. Evil robots. I am a robot. I am a robot.
Gun, but it'll cease to exist before it ever gets out there. I don't know why she thinks that she can outsmart these people. This is so silly to me. This is very silly to me. Okay. Oh my god. Have there been cheating rumors before? Three of Wands, Two of Wands, King of Cups. So there's a King of Cups here, and there's some sort of cheating rumor. I don't know who this is. This is on a wife, Empress reverse. There's a wife. And then, so this is okay. So the Wheel of Fortune is bad luck, bad opportunity. The Queen of Pentacles here is a threat to the stability. This is a wife who had no idea or who had to turn a blind eye to it. This is sex, but this is a third person, and it's a King of Cups water sign. So it can be Pisces, Cancer, Scorpio, or just someone who's emotional or seen as an emotional person or strong person.
You see, I see a person says, right, yeah. You figured me out. I am a robot. Hey, Nana Kimber, how are you? Got to get some coffee in me. Yes, you got to have some coffee in you. There are times I would like to be a robot because there are times where some of the stuff I like, particularly when you're having to do research or you're having to type up, or I'm having to do some of my uni assignments, I think, gee, I wish I was a robot so I could just like do this. But anyway.
There's some sort of cheating scandal here. there's like an abuse of power and somebody leaks stuff to the internet. There's somebody who's directly leaking stuff to the internet that is really needs to be careful. If anyone watches this video, which I doubt anyone will watch this video, but if anyone does and you leak shit to the internet or you tell people whatever, you need to be careful because you could easily be incriminated with the 8 of Swords. They can't get Meghan, but they'll get anybody around her. She's like it's like a ticking time bomb. Anybody who touches her or goes near her is gonna have shit thrown at them. Oh, this is chaos. Well, yeah, anybody she does an interview with, anybody she works with, anybody she does anything with is going to have stuff coming out about them. The King of Swords reverse. They're going to try and push them out of their position and alienate them eventually. So if you work with them, you basically get them on a shit list. Allegedly, for entertainment purposes only. Well, I mean, again, I do think the media is being racist, but I also think that two things can happen at once, and I just think that her tendencies are a little self-focused, and I feel like she's holding grudges and wanting revenge. So I can't lie about what I see for her motivations. Sorry. I know that's probably going to disappoint a lot of people. Probably going to be mad at me, but I have seen this before it happened, and I was right, and I still see it. She doesn't give me good energy. Like when I feel in my chest right now, what I feel is so much anger, resentment, and frustration. Like it literally weighs so heavy on my heart. Like it's like, F this person. I don't care about this person. I'm gonna get them. I'm gonna get them. I'm gonna get them, and I'm gonna get them, and I'm gonna get them. I don't think she's realized that there are certain battles that cannot be won. So I think she really needs to reassess which battles are worth taking, which aren't, and I also think she needs to remember that happiness is the best revenge. So good luck to her. My heart does go out to her, and I do empathize with her situation, but I also see some of the behavior patterns that she has that needs to stop. So hope you guys like that. If you did, make sure you comment down below. Let me know what you thought, and let me know what other readings you want me to do. Make sure you subscribe.
Okay, so what did you think about that? That was quite interesting, wasn't it? No, Kimber. It was Meghan Markle. However, we were commenting that the similarities were quite similar. We were actually thinking that, wow, very similar. You got put in a picture by changing my mind. I don't want me or my family drops. Sometimes I can't feel what my mouth says. Wind whispers. Oh, dear. Yes, it was very interesting, wasn't it? It was very interesting. So, yeah. I didn't hear a lot of it, but I do get the feeling there was a lot of his personal impression of Meghan and not the cards. Well, that's an interesting point. I wouldn't know. As I said, yeah. I thought it was KJ. The similarities didn't actually. The similarities did cross our mind, Nana Kimber. We went, wow, this could have been hers readings. Hello, Nikki. How are you? Nikki, we were talking about how the mother country took the interview. How did the UK take it all? The interview. I've seen complete and utter mixed reaction. I think we have a really good representation of. I think when we first got onto this topic, I think we had a very good representation of Commonwealth nations or nations where the Queen is the head of state. No, Piers Morgan didn't take it very well, did he? No, he didn't like it. Yeah, it's a mixed reaction, yeah. Well, yeah, as I said, today I was talking to some 80-plus-year-olds and I didn't watch it, wasn't going to, you know, because they have no interest. For them, for most of them, they actually remember the Queen's father, actually. And, you know, said, you know, Harry should be grateful. So they have a different perspective all over again. You know, Harry should be grateful. And I think, like, my kids, or particularly the generation their age, have no desire for a monarchy. Where it's going to, it's changed a lot in the last 24 hours. Yeah, okay. Before it was shown, it's changed a lot in the 24 hours. I think it has made worse that his treatment of Meghan came out over Women's Day. Most are upset about his attitude to her. Yes, that's right. Yeah. I find it really hard to believe because there was somebody that said that if the royal family if they objected to, if there was an issue, they wouldn't have allowed Harry to marry. Like, there would have been an issue and it would have come again. Cool. A lot of people are sick of paying taxes for the royal family, quite a few. Well, that's the other thing, yes. They see that they're not relevant. And I think that's why Charles was trying to slim down the royal family too, wasn't he? Sharon Tate is not a robot. So in some ways it's probably good because that's two less people that you don't have to pay for. I guess. But I don't think that if there was a problem with Meghan, there would have been issues about them getting married. But the royal family seemed to be on board. I mean, Charles walked her down the aisle. I mean, if somebody had an issue, like, why would he do that? You know, they seem to have a really close relationship. That's, you know, I just have too many questions. And I think Oprah didn't ask the right ones. Like, so shall we watch? Are you all game to watch the video on the royal family? I believe if there was cut with her colour, they would have blocked it. Start. Yes, see, that's what I say, Jane. That's what I believe. That's what I believe too. That if there was an issue, it would have been blocked from the start. I agree. Yes, Charles. About Charles being forced to marry Diane and how that played out. Yes, that's right. Because he was forced to marry. No, I don't think so. The issue has nothing to do with race and everything to do with her being faced the same. Yes. Well, and so did Kate, and so did Fergie was a commenter too. I mean, they went after her a lot too. Your game? Okay. All right. Well, here's the thing. That's as much as I watched. 8 minutes and 41 seconds, and I had to walk away. Oh, excuse me. I couldn't watch anymore. So just a warning. I might be able to do it now with everybody else with me, but I couldn't do it when I was on my own. Yeah, well, that's right. She was Lady Diana Spencer. That's right. Oh, I think most people like the Queen. But see, I wonder whether, so the old people that I was talking to today, they told me they were saying to me that they think the best thing for the Queen to do, the best thing for them to do is to skip Charles and go straight to William, because Charles is too. They said Charles is too old. But for some reason, they keep referring to her as a commoner over here. I remember that, even though I was just a kid, yeah. Piers Morgan quits. That's a bit misleading. Had no choice, but yes, yeah. I think that once certain behaviours of Meghan came out, the media then targeted her too much. It's got nothing to do with race. To be honest, many people I know were quite that he actually was so fair. Kate had her fair share to deal with when that's right. She had to deal. Fergie had to deal with it. Fergie had to deal with it. She got it bad as well. The Queen has always said Charles would never be king. All right. We ready? Let's get started.
I really liked it. That you don't like Meghan Markle. You've made it so clear a number of times on this program, and she cut you off. She's entitled to cut you off if she wants to. I'm being sorry. Can't do this. Absolutely.
And I was going to say, and don't forget that Prince Philip has Greek heritage as well. The problem is people want the wives to be prim and perfect as the Queen. They can't be. Yeah.
On the Meghan and Harry story, and I like to be balanced, and I also like to provide both sides. So the Queen has spoken and really.
She likes to be balanced and give both sides, people.
A statement, and I feel like we should talk about it because there's also been some movement in the British media involving Piers Morgan, who I cannot stand, and this was happening this morning, like in fast-paced movements, and I was like, okay, I want to talk about this because one, it just resonated with me.
Well, I said I'm okay. Yeah, I just think it's too whiny. Now, it's interesting. KJ just admitted that she can't stand him, Piers Morgan. Did you get that impression from her tweets? That she didn't like him? Piers has tweeted the guy Beresford banned on the show, even saying the weather and saying Beresford wasn't needed in front of Beresford, who left the set. It was bad. Wow. Balanced. Was that after all that on Twitter? Well, that was in between. She posted that in between.
So much knowing that yesterday was International Women's Day and then knowing how Piers responded to the interview. So whether you like Meghan or not, she brought up some issues in this interview that a lot of people were very concerned about, including the royal family. In fact, the royal family responded to many of the allegations, including the racial issues and just overall the sentiments that Harry and Meghan brought up, and they didn't deny things. So the royal family issued this.
They didn't deny it. So does that mean that they're guilty? Because they didn't deny it? Really, if you wanted to be balanced, you just say the royal family, the Queen gave this message. Here it is.
The whole family is saddened to learn the full extent of how challenging the last few years have been for Harry and Meghan. The issues raised, particularly of race, are concerning. While some recollections may vary, they are taken very seriously and will be addressed by the family privately. Harry, Meghan, and Archie will always be much loved family members. They're going to take the approach that they're going to handle this privately, and they don't really bring up the mental health issues. I think it's like as neutral as possible without being condemning and also not really owning anything. So a lot of people were like, this is classy. I'm glad they said something. People were concerned that they weren't going to say anything. And now it's the issue of they're going to handle it privately, which some people were like, okay, but you are representing our country. And
It was Fergie and Di's age during all the courting and marriages. They were pretty brutal on them. Fergie has always been treated bad. There wasn't a day of ragging. Well, that's true. They went for Fergie very badly, didn't they? Remember the toe-sucking picture? Yes, people. For all of you in America, there's a toe-sucking picture. I just want to slap that smug look off. She's always got that gloaty look whenever she's talking about someone else. Yes, she does. Fergie was, I think she was on a holiday with somebody, and they got a picture of her. They followed her on the beach or something. Fergie was treated awful. They were. Oh, brutal. Yeah, they kept calling her fat. I mean, they called Kate Middleton Weighty Katie. That was her nickname. That's what they called her, Weighty Katie. So all the women of the Suns have all been treated very badly. All of them. Yes, I do remember the toe-sucking picture, man from Texas, if I remember rightly. Yeah, was it on a boat or was it on a beach or something? It was like a really weird location. But the media had been following them. So, yeah. But anyway. But, yeah, Diana, Fergie, Kate, all copped it really badly. Well, that's all right, Sharon.
you're paying for your life and taxes. So I think there was some overall concern. But I think it's a fine statement. I wish they would address the mental health issue personally, because that's such a huge component of what she experienced. And they also did not address anything related to the press not protecting her, that kind of stuff. Perhaps this will open up some dialogues between Harry and his family, or not. I don't really know. But at this point, that's what the quick said. On social media, now there's a very large amount of people that are upset with Harry and Meghan. Some people are like, oh, they just want publicity. Oh, they just want to trash the family. I can't believe they would do this to the royal queen when Philip's in the hospital. There's just been an overall, like, people just really don't like Meghan, and they say it has nothing to do with race. They say it's because she's entitled, she's a social climber, she's trying to change everything. And
Well, Princess Anne, they learnt not to mess with Princess Anne. She just gave it back. The expectations that they have for them, yes, that's right. That's right. Steve Wyatt, yes, he was a Texan, wasn't he? Yeah, about her body and looks. Fergie, it's disgusting how they treat the females. Yes, yeah. I guess the point that I'm making is that all of the women copped it, you know. I love a good by Paul, if I remember right, she was in a lawn chair. I felt bad for Fergie because she was hounded, yeah. Princess Anne was family though, yes. The only one the media never went after like that is the Queen. We all knew she was going to jump on this bandwagon and be the expert, says Christoph Van West. Well, I hope she's watching this back, and that she's actually going to learn a few things about the royal family. That's all I can say. I have every faith in Catherine living up to expectations. She's done exceedingly well to date. She has done, Sammy J. My grand gave Princess Anne Italian. Really, Christine? She wasn't the only one. Well, they go after all the yes, they do go after all the spouses. Yeah, she doesn't mess about. I believe she can as though nobody is good enough for them. Doesn't she handle a rifle fairly well too? You could see her just coming out, and there's with a rifle. You're going to mess with me. Oh, Princess Anne, but she's a hardworking royal. I've got to give her that, you know.
Learning from a lot of you guys that are British and or from the UK or the colonies that the monarchy is very special.
We're called the Commonwealth. We're not the colonies. Oh. Yeah, I wouldn't mess with her. Oh, hi, Tia. I'm waiting to go back from my surgery. I'm sorry to hear that. I love Hannah. Did you hear that? Did you hear what she just said? She called us a colony. I'm not a colony. We are not a colony. Ants live in colonies. Oh, thank you, Jess. We are the Commonwealth. Yeah, all the best for your surgery. Yeah, she's won awards for shooting. Did she go to the? Was she one of the ones that went to the Olympics? Did she go to the Olympics, or it was her daughter? Was it one of the royals? You were Commonwealth, aren't we? We're Commonwealth. We're a Commonwealth nation. We're not a colony. Didn't she refuse to get out the car when they tried to kidnap her in the early 70s? Yes, she did. Yes, they did. Yes, they did. Yes, she did. She's not going to be messed with. The ants go marching one by one. Hurrah, hurrah. The ants go marching one by one. Hurrah, hurrah. She's so damn uneducated and shows it every time she opens her mouth. Is the royal family just essentially, Jazz? So Canada is a republic, so they actually don't have her as her head of state. So she's our head of state. So she has a representative. So there's a national representative called the Governor General, and there's state representatives for the governors. So the Parliament answers to the Governor General, and the state parliaments answer to the governors, and the governors report to the Governor General, and they are the Queen's representative. Do you understand that? Because that's pretty messy. Yes, horse riding wasn't it? I wish just as half as much as she knows. We stopped being a colony in 1901, correct? All right, I've just rewound that so we can hear that again.
I'm learning from a lot of you guys that are British and or from the UK or the colonies that the monarchy is very special to you, some of you.
That are British or from the UK? Or from the colonies? Well, that's actually rather offensive. I'm offended by that. Can I be the queen? Can I be the queen ant in the colony? Oh boy.
And the institution is what matters to you, and the sacredity and the traditions of the institution are important. And apparently Meghan not understanding those specific things and acting like she could change things is kind of what upset you. That's kind of what I was getting at. No matter what Meghan's position was, she had some concerns about her.
No, the Governor General just sort of rubber stamps all the legislation. So he represents the Queen because the Queen can't be here because, well, now she doesn't travel as much. But he reports to her as to how things are going here. But essentially, he rubber stamps. So all the legislation then goes to the Governor General to rubber stamp. Oh, Jazz, it is so confusing. But our prime ministers, the what you have as the US president would be our prime minister. What is the racism towards Aboriginal like in Australia? Has it gotten to it? It's better. It's nowhere near where it should be. I'd like to get one of those Royal Guards to smile. That would be fun. Figure out the structure. It's rather complicated. So, so we use the Westminster system, which is the same as how the British. So we're very much got the same structure as Britain does. with prime ministers. However, where he's in my future day, whereas the UK Parliament reports to the Queen, and the Queen goes and opens Parliament every year, because she can't go to all the Commonwealth countries to do that. She has a Governor General, and he opens the federal Parliament every year, and signs off on legislation. But essentially, the Parliament in the UK has to have everything signed off by the Queen. Is that right for all my UK people, British people? So the Prime Minister from the House of, is it the House of Lords? He reports, they have the House of Lords and House of Commons. He reports to the Queen, where ours reports to the Governor General. So it's quite confusing, but it works. Yes, I'm right. Am I right? Oh, there we go. Yes, House of Commons decides, House of Lords agree, then it goes to the Queen. Yep, cool. Yes, though she's never refused. Well, the Governor General, I don't think's ever refused it. It is offensive. In fact, a lot of her ignorance is offensive. I don't understand US politics and would not try to do a stream on it. I think KJ needs to Rick before commenting. Yes. Oh, is it the same in Australia or South Africa? So I don't know how South Africa works. Who gets the taxes? The royal family. I think the royal family gets paid a percentage of the taxes. Yeah. Trying to understand what Brexit is. Good luck with that, sweet tea's journey. Oh, I kind of get it. It's so weird to still have a king and queen. There's lots of countries that still have kings and queens. Yes, the Queen needs to give royal assent once a bill is passed in both houses. Yep. So for us, the Governor General signs off on it. Could you imagine if everything had to go to the Queen? Then when she says, yes, it is royal assent. Yep. The family gets a budget that has to be approved, but the Queen hands the royal, yes, and also has to pay taxes. That's right. The monarchy have a lot of assets they live off. And they benefit from, and they invest some of it too. No one understands Brexit, says Laura. I don't think anyone does. So does she decide on the bills? Didn't know that. No, the Queen doesn't get to decide what bills she approves. She just signs off on them. So that's why they've got the two houses of Parliament. So that's why they have. So it gets all debated out in Parliament, and then the Queen just stamps it. I don't think she really cares what's in it. Again, stop the feel from Wikipedia. Guards will push you over if you get in their way, and they're allowed to shoot you, but that's unlikely. Really? They're allowed to shoot? Cool. No Aussie taxes go to the UK. The only time we pay for the royal family is if they come to Australia at our invitation. We pay for the Governor General. Yeah, so we pay for the Queen's representative. It's also weird that America, we don't know really anything about world history like this. Did the Queen decide if the people guess? No, the Queen doesn't have any decision-making power. Sweet tea's journey, she can't decide. No, not really. It's more of a performance, as it's only certain things, because she doesn't have a political preference. I guess she's just a figure. She's really just a figurehead. All the palaces and everything inside the palaces are also owned by the taxpayers, not the royal family. Yes, and that's why when Harry and Meghan were leaving the royal family, the taxpayers had just paid to renovate the house that they were living in. That's where a lot of the anger came from, to say, we've just spent all this money on the house that you wanted done up, and now you're just going to leave us. So, well, I mean, and this is what it's, yeah, the government uses taxes to pay the royals way. And this is what it's about. It's about educating people about how it works. We used to learn about some of it, Brittany. Education here is so much better in the mid-80s, early 90s. So it looks like she sits on her throne wearing her jewels and signs off on things, with all due respect. I don't think she sits on her throne anymore, but she does. She keeps in touch with all the... She actually knows what's going on in every one of her Commonwealth countries that she is the head of state over. So, yeah. And the house was huge. So it didn't need doing. They did pay it back. They did pay it back, Christoph Fan only. That was after the outrage. Yeah. She has no political... What's the point? I'm American. I know the basis, says Dominus. She's only for show. Yeah, she's only for show. And the Queen is politically neutral but has a right and a duty to express her views on government matters. But they paid for it and let Beatrice use it while they were away, which was meant to be there. But yes, they did. Right. So let's go back to this video. But, I mean, this conversation is a lot more exciting.
Even if he wasn't designated a title at birth, I think there was concerns about him having security, which some of you guys said a lot of the kids don't get security, so I get that. But I think the wider issue of, you know, she brought up that she wanted to end her life, and there was a huge outcry by so many people about that because it made people, even within the press, realize the magnitude of the headlines and the coverage that they gave to her. And some people in the media have been particularly pushing narratives against Meghan that are very, very toxic. And one of them has been Piers Morgan. So Piers Morgan, actually, if you're from the United States, know that he hosted Larry King Live's show for a few years, like 3 or 4 years after Larry retired. And he wasn't very well received.
But as I said, if she knew her royal history, she would know. She would know that we were talking about before, Fergie was treated horribly by the press. Horribly by the press. Because we had Toegate. So oh look, they've been talking about becoming a republic for years. I don't know. Because guess what? That's all been everything. That's all been since the interviews come out. That's been the narrative. How can KJ have an opinion on another country's decisions? Well, that's correct. It's very interesting, you know. It's called Ralston and just a formality. That's what's really cool because we've got people that live in, you know, in the same country as the Queen. We've got people that live in Commonwealth countries. I danced for the Queen when I was in year 3. I was right up the back, and she didn't see me, but I did wave to her, but that's good enough for me. She was a little bit taller then. She seems to be shrinking. One thing I have to say about the Queen is she always looks so beautiful. She knows everything, says Jennifer. I remember that with Vegan Diet seems so sad. I don't think I'd want to be part of her profile family like that, yeah. Yeah. And Catherine, as I said, Catherine got it. So the media always particular bad to the new wives and girlfriends. I guess if they had hung it, you know, bit their tongue and waited it out, it may have passed. Apparently, Charles' income, which as Prince of Wales' income comes from the Duke of Cornwall, and he pays the bills for his children, so William and Harry and their families. Yes, that's where he gets his money from. However, Harry now doesn't get that money because he can't because he's now no longer part of the royal family. The royal family may be considered to show a lot, but also people's strength. She's the only queen to be in 2 wars, I believe. He's also a son of unity. And she was a mechanic in the war as well. She actually was a mechanic in the war. And she's seen a lot of stuff that's happened. Fergie was the only one there for Diana after the split. The Queen is a ceremonial head of state. Parliament has all the parliament. And the same with Australia. You know, the Queen is just the ceremonial head of state. Everything Fergie did was scrutinised. Diana was scrutinised by the royal family, but I felt the love for her by the world, yes. But Fergie was not liked. They didn't like Fergie. The Queen gets a civil list from the UK taxpayers, which pays senior rules and upkeeps.
I don't think that Piers really resonated with the US market as a whole. I just kind of felt like we didn't get him. He has always been kind of outspoken. I think he falls more on the conservative end of things, and that doesn't necessarily matter to me in this context. But he does not like Meghan at all. He and Meghan met a couple times, and they were friendly. He went and had drinks with her one night, and he has told this story so many times about how, you know, they went and had drinks. She had a couple martinis, and then he put her in a cab, and then that night she went to a party and she met Harry. The next night they had dinner together, and the rest is history. And he claims that Meghan never called him back, never talked to him again, which then has put him in this sort of position of she's a social climber, she's an opportunist, she's a bitch. And it always seemed like a level of unprofessionalism to me as a journalist. If you don't like someone, don't make your personal vendetta the reason that you don't like anything else about them. And it's weird too, because he would say, like, you know, she ghosted me, but then, you know, there's an interview clip floating out there of him basically saying, you know, but I really liked her.
I really liked it. This is why it hurts. I really liked it.
And it's interesting because a lot of her friends.
The little, I know it was going to fight. It was going to be Harry, yes, evidently, but still sad. I think it's one of those things you'll always remember where you were when you heard that Diana died. Peeps are saying the royals should be got rid of, but a lot of people have jobs working for the royals. They do. A lot of people work for the royals, and the royals do a lot of charity work. So there'd be a lot of charities that would suffer if it wasn't for the royals. Extremely wealthy. She has properties and palaces that she's inherited from her mother's side of, yes. And don't forget, Prince Philip was actually Prince Philip of Greece and Denmark. So he was born in Greece. So he would have, you know. Cool. A lovely appearance. With next here. Those lines. Yeah, that's the Queen's mother. But distinguished and proper. So I know people are asking what Camilla was going to be called. I looked that up, and Clarence House has confirmed that Camilla will not take the title of Queen Consort. Instead, will be known as Princess Consort. I was 12 and still remember the fact my mum woke me up the next day. Wow. She does. I think Buckingham Palace, I think they were saying that she employs about 400 people at Buckingham Palace alone. So that's just at one palace. I don't know how that would work because technically they don't have the royal family generally don't have passports because, well, the Queen doesn't. I can remember the wedding too. As far as I know, Prince Philip's still alive. He's still in hospital. He's had he's been in, it says, 4th week in hospital. So he's still around. I think he's waiting until he turns 100 so he can get a letter from his wife. Sassy Noz. Okay, if I recall correctly. So that's going to be interesting what happens. And the other thing is that Harry and Meghan will have one child born in Britain and one in the US, which is going to cause huge problems in the end, which could cause a lot of problems, particularly if Charles becomes king. And well, I guess you wouldn't if you ran a whole country. Yeah. Well, because particularly the Commonwealth countries. An army child born on a foreign military base, yes. Base, yeah. Hello, Sazzy Noz. If I didn't say hello before. Okay. US allows jewelry from the UK but won't allow a US citizen to take a second. We can all agree isn't like the Hallmark movies. Correct, Christoph Fan, always. It's a very complicated system. I was born overseas, and technically I was able to because I was born to American parents.
Have come out and defended her, like her co-star from Suits, basically said that she's like one of the nicest, most compassionate, loving people they've ever met. Serena Williams came out in defense of her and really was like talking about the systemic racism that she has felt and what it feels like to be a woman in, like at a high level, getting that hate. And also just speaking about the heart of Meghan being a nice, kind, loving person. And you also have people from Meghan's family, like her father and her sister, that are like on social media and going on interviews calling her a narcissist and a psychopath and a liar. You know, even her dad was on Good Morning Britain this morning.
Because I'll do a story for the press. If I don't hear from them in 30 days, then I'll do another story for the press.
You know, basically saying that he was going to keep going to the press as long as she didn't talk to him. And he was going to go to the press every 30 days until she would talk to him. But I think he's kind of burned a bridge with her because he has put so much out there. He has sold.
Harry and Meghan, I believe, live in Santa Barbara. Why would it be a problem? Harry's two kids. Well, one's born in Britain and one's born in the US. So if I can see it being problematic as far as citizenship's concerned. Technically, bases are considered American source, so I get my birth certificate from the State Department and Citizen Board. Okay, that's interesting. Has a lot of nerve to speak on anything, really. Yeah, it would be a diplomatic situation, yes. There would be, I think there'd be some hoops to jump through. Hello, Jean. We're still going. Yep. No, we're still going. We're still talking about the royal family because we've got some of our UK people here and they're helping us understand how it all works with the Queen and Parliament. So, and according to KJ, I'm just from one of the colonies. I might make that the title of tomorrow's From the Colony. I'm not a royal watcher. I know quite a few that are as devoted as this. And the royals are more than just they are celebrities. Yeah. I believe Meghan was or is treated no different to Diana Fergie. I think her expectations were different. That is the conclusion that I am coming to, Annette. Okay, see you, Jazz. Thank you for all the questions. I would never make a video about anything I wasn't versed in, says Christopher. Okay, they can get dual citizenship. Okay, that's fine. Oh, thank you. Well, that's good, Sazzy. Since the child was born on US soil, isn't a true royal. Well, I think that's what I'm coming to.
Photos he has done. made so much money off of this that I don't know how she would ever trust him again. And even though he thinks that this might be working for him, I think this is like a money grab for him, and I just find him insufferable. And I find her sister even more insufferable because, one, even if they didn't, like, Megan claims they didn't have much of a relationship. I honestly think that Megan was trying to just be diplomatic and not say a lot about her sister and not disparage her instead of going for the jugular. She just said, I don't really know her. And then, of course, her sister said she's lying and blah, blah, blah. So anyways, Piers, like, flipped out, and he went crazy. And he, on air, was like talking about how he didn't believe that she was having thoughts of wanting to end her life. And he didn't believe that anyone at the palace would turn her away. And he wanted to know who she talked to and what they said. And he said he wouldn't believe her even if she was giving like a weather forecast.
Who did you go to? What did they say to you? I'm sorry, I don't believe a word she says, Meghan Markle.
Well, that's
I wouldn't believe it if she read me a weather report.
So it was really just diabolical and it was cruel. And you're like, why do you dislike this woman so much that even when she's struggling, you find a way to disparage her? And
she was yesterday. She's been hinting that one of the Duggars has been suffering from postnatal depression, and yet she's still posting about her. That's the question that I've been asking. Why, if they've just had a baby and you're saying that they're looking out of sorts, are you still going there?
even his colleagues got annoyed by it. And Alex, who does the weather, he basically called him out this morning, which led to Piers ending up like storming out and saying like he couldn't handle it because literally his coworker called him out for saying like, I know you had a thing with her and she ghosted you, but he even said like she had a right not to call you back.
And she cut you off. She's entitled to cut you off if she wants to. Has she said anything about you since she cut you off?
Sorry, can't
This
do
is
that.
absolutely diabolical behavior.
He storms off, and then suddenly an investigation is open, and then the next thing you know, he's handing in his resignation to Good Morning Britain. This happened so fast this morning, and this is what happens. So
It's funny, Sassy, because my son had an American accent for a while because of all the YouTube videos he was watching from America. It's funny how it happens, isn't it? I got the answer. Yes. The US allows dual citizenship means you can hold on to your American passport and pursue. Okay, that's interesting. Oops. The only time I'll agree with KJ, says Laura. Okay, we know because of Hollywood, she had an issue on her TV show. She was pompous. She was always known to be difficult in her job here. And really? That's interesting. Interesting. I just checked. The law must have changed. You can now have dual citizenship. The US government just doesn't officially recognize it, but they no longer require you to renounce the other countries. Oh, that's interesting. I think he quit. Can anyone get dual citizenship?
TV that actually hosts the show Good Morning Britain said this. Following discussions with ITV, Piers Morgan has decided now is the time to leave Good Morning Britain. ITV has accepted this decision and has nothing further to add. And then they continued by saying the announcement comes after broadcasting regulators, Ofcom, launched an investigation after receiving more than 41,000 complaints regarding a comment made by the presenter following Harry and Meghan's interview with Oprah Winfrey. After the clip aired of Meghan discussing her issues with mental health and thoughts, the royal officials' knowledge of them, Morgan said during the program, I'm sorry, I don't believe a word she says. And he continued by saying, I wouldn't believe her if she read me a weather report. And then Ofcom says, we have launched an investigation into Monday's episode of Good Morning Britain under armed harm and offense rules. Basically, over this investigation, I guess in Britain, the government branch can investigate if speech that's used on air is offensive and harmful. They don't have the same freedom of speech laws that we have in the United States, which was one of the huge parts of when the United States won the Revolutionary War. We wanted like freedom of speech, freedom of the press, freedom of religion, separation.
So now we're getting our history lesson. Yes, and biscuits are so different here. So when he was asking for biscuits, meaning cookies, snakes. Well, that's all right. A lot of people here ask for cookies, and they mean biscuits. So.
There's a lot of things that American, like our forefathers, George Washington, they didn't want to be a part of the United States, and that's what we fought for here. And they just don't have that same freedom of speech in Britain, and so they can have launch government investigations. Pierce getting tons of negative feedback, like his name has been trending on Twitter and everyone's outraged. And so he walked back everything this morning. And he said, when we talked about this yesterday, I said an all-encompassing thing, like I don't believe what Meghan Markle is saying generally in this interview. I still have serious concerns about the veracity of a lot of what she said. But let me state on the record my position about mental illness and on ending your life. These are clearly extremely serious things that should have been taken extremely seriously. And if someone is feeling that way, they should get treatment and help they need every time. It's weird though, because he literally said, like, who are you going to talk? Like, I want to know the names of who you talked to, and I can't believe they wouldn't have helped you. So he was clearly saying that he didn't believe her about those claims. And I don't care who you are and what you're thinking and what you think about the situation. When someone makes a claim about not wanting to live, you take that seriously. And you just don't question it. You don't say that they're baiting or they're trying to get sympathy. You take it seriously. You acknowledge it, and you don't question it, because honestly, it furthers the stigma in all of this about mental health. And I believe Pierce's firing also might have had something to do with the fact that ITV.
I don't believe he got fired, KJ. I believe they parted companies mutually, which is different. Is that correct? Because she just said he's firing. I don't believe he got fired. I think the path for the Royals, if I remember, is to stop them having like a UK passport when she's the head of the Commonwealth, like showing preference. Yes. I think that's correct, because she's... Problem is KJ lies so much, even if I agree with her. I don't know if she's been truthful, yeah. So why muddy the waters with facts? Yes, they fired or quit. That's a different... The statement said they decided to part company. They have not stated, they haven't actually, they didn't, if you say that we've agreed to mutually part company. But she said fired. Sure she did.
Furthers the stigma in all of this about mental health. And I believe Pierce's firing also might have had something to do with the fact that ITV also has this huge mental health campaign that's going on. One of the charities that they're working for as a part of this literally issued a statement like yesterday, horrified by what Pierce said. He says, and this is what they said. So it says, we are disappointed and concerned to see Piers Morgan's comments on not believing Meghan's experiences about thoughts today. It's vital that when people reach out for support and share their experiences of ill mental health, that they are treated with dignity, respect, and empathy. We are in conversations with ITV about this at the moment. If you or anyone you know is feeling impacted by the discussions that have taken place today, please reach out for support using the signpost in the thread below. And then they provided like some links of how you can get help. And they provided a video about how to like talk to someone that is going through those types of thoughts, you know, and just dealing with the feelings that people had when there was someone in the media saying they didn't believe that. And it's a really irresponsible thing to say. Like, you don't have to like Meghan, but to get onto your platform with millions of people watching, he's not a small commentator. Good Morning Britain is huge. It's like the Today Show or Good Morning America. It's an enormous platform. And then say that you don't believe her, it just further perpetuates negative press and negative statements. And Alex, who's the weather guy on the show, by the way, like the newest, sexiest man in the whole world to me, even made a point to say that like Harry has been so deeply impacted by his mother's death. And it's not fair to say that because William handled it one way and Harry handled it another, that Harry should just get over it, because that was another thing that Pierce said was like, Harry just needs to get over it. And he said, it's not fair to say that. And it's also, at what cost are we going to continue this bad press about Harry and Meghan? Is the ultimate goal, like, what's the end game? His mother already passed away. Are we going to cause his wife to pass away too? And I think that's a good point in the coverage is, you know, what is the end game for them in villainizing her? Like, you don't like her. She's a newcomer. She doesn't fit in. She doesn't understand. She's trying to change things up. All of these things were offensive to people in the UK, from my understanding. But at the same time, what's the end goal? You cannot like someone and not nitpick. You cannot like someone and not cause them to want to commit unthinkable acts upon themselves that they can't take back. Irreversible things. And just because she speaks out and you think she's a liar doesn't mean she's lying, right? I think there's some things that she might have said where she was not either telling the whole truth or she was holding back information to be maybe diplomatic or not disparage. And I think there were other things that were truthful. And I think you can't argue with someone who is a person of color who has experienced what they believe to be racism. I'm not a person of color, so I can't say her experience, but you can't argue with her experience. You also can't argue with what she's telling Oprah about what she felt about that experience. The Queen has spoken. Piers Morgan has lost his job, and Harry and Meghan remain silent since the interview. So, what are your thoughts about all of this? Tell me in the comments below. Bye, guys.
So there you go. So there you go. We have Good Morning America here, Katie. We know it's a big show. It's like the UK version, Katie. You don't need to tell us it's a big show. Okay. Just doing a search here. Citizen. So I thought, but I actually had a friend who was born in a military base and he had to choose which citizenship to use on his 18th birthday. Oh, interesting. All right. Looks like that lots of people have been asking these questions. Yeah, so the baby is a girl, which we know. So I just did this Google search. So the short answer is both. Since Meghan, who was born and raised in LA, is an American citizen, and Harry is Britain, their son and daughter can obtain dual citizenship for the US and UK, regardless of where the baby is born. So this is I have a friend who was born overseas and isn't considered, although her parents are US citizens. Interesting, isn't it? So it says, for those interested, baby Sussex 2 will, of course, be a US citizen, will automatically be a British citizen according to these government guidelines, who were born outside the UK after July 1, 2006 from at least one British parent is eligible. You're automatically a British citizen if you were born outside the UK and the following rules apply. Your British parent could pass on citizenship to you. Prince Harry can pass on his citizenship to his future child as he was born in the UK in 1984. So, working as a crown servant when you were born. Archie, Meghan, and Harry's Archie is believed to have dual citizenship. Parent must have spent at least 5 years in the US prior to the arrival of a child. So there you go. I know the US is finicky and always. Yes, Megan is US, that's right. So it wouldn't matter where since she is. I forgot about that. What a mess, hey? That said, that went to inpatient be overflowing country. Wow. I'm wondering if the dual citizenship will affect any titles, though. Thanks for explaining. Oh, look, I'm trying my best here. Being born, though, yeah. It makes things, yeah. I'm not sure about... there was something here about titles that I'm just looking at here. And it said... What's the time? Well, it's definitely going to be interesting, isn't it? Definitely going to be instant. It also depends on the laws of birth. The law the year with yes. And also, it will be the first time any of the Queen's great-grandchildren have been born outside of Britain. So, you know, I guess it's going to be a totally new thing. So definitely going to be very interesting to see what happens. But, you know, okay. All right, well, I'm going to have to go, I'm afraid, because I've just looked at the time and I have a 9 a.m. CPR class with my my friend here that I haven't named, but I'll be trying to breathe some life into it. I don't even know what it is. I don't even know what it is. So anyway, I have to head off. So thank you all for watching. Thank you all for being here. Thank you all for subscribing because I've got monetization, which is amazing. So thank you all so much. Appreciate it all. And I will see you tomorrow.